welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. The Independent National Electoral Commission presents certificate of return to over 400 lawmakers, including senators and representatives. Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha demands explanation from INEC over the Commission's failure to present his certificate of return. Rescue operations for Lagos building collapse ends. Ministry of Health to release official casualty figure. And key decision in UK Parliament to be taken as parliamentarians decide on Brexit. ChannelsTV.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news and updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app has an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and then follow the instructions. I was still looking at the sad incident of the building collapse on Lagos Island, and the chairman of the Institute of Safety Professionals in Lagos, Mr. Timothy Uwagu, wants the government to invest in sophisticated rescue equipment that will be used to save lives during emergencies. Mr. Uwagu, who was a guest earlier today on Newstrack, frowned on the approach to the rescue effort, particularly the crowd that gathered at the scene.
I would say we don't have, if we have, we don't have the very much needed quality. Now, we are talking of a collapsed structure where people are trapped. If you must get them out, you have to apply the equipment that will not even jeopardize their survival.
Yes.
Now we are looking at iron rods, slabs of concrete, and then some people were using a sledgehammer to break through, and then a whole lot of things there, instead of using just simple earth movers to raise that slab. And it became so bad. And you look at the way the house, the building caved, it showed that the foundation was too weak to carry the superstructure. It collapsed, carving in, not outward. So it became very difficult to even have access to people. So, and all we had was ordinary people trying to play the role of professionals. People are often carried away by incidents of this nature because they want to be seen as playing some roles. Now, professional duties should be left for professionals. In as much as we are very humanitarian and we are sometimes very good in being our brother's keepers, we come out openly to assist. But in assisting, we must be sure that our presence there will enhance the objective we intend to achieve.
Now, the president is still receiving congratulatory messages from his well-wishers across the country over his victory at the presidential polls. The president received an audience, the people of Borgu Kingdom today, as well as other emirs. The president promised the visiting team that he would strive to fulfill all his promises to Nigerians as he commences his second term in office.
Thank you very much for appreciating what I was able to do when I was in PTF. And what I have been able to do with the problems there of security generally. This is a general problem throughout the country, and I assure you that I will continue to do my best. But I thank you most sincerely for mobilizing so many people from your kingdom and your neighborhood to come and say, we thank God and pray together for the success we have. I appreciate the adage that nothing succeeds like success. If we haven't won the election, I think we might have taken different directions all over the country. But we thank God, success brought us together again and firmed up our relationship. I thank you very much for coming, and please pass my congratulations and thanks for coming to say congratulations to me. And I don't mind, you can report to me to them that you have submitted your shopping list.
Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari, and he's turning close attention to the health sector and asking the private sector to work towards providing funds for HIV and AIDS-related activities in the country. President Muhammadu Buhari mentioned this at the Nigeria HIV and AIDS Indicator and Impact Survey Results 2018. Our State House correspondent Ibrahim Adra reports.
President Buhari joined by other stakeholders to unveil a survey that is first in many respects. The story of the Nigeria HIV/AIDS Indicator and Impact Survey, NICE 2018, goes back to June of last year when President Buhari launched the project. The survey is completed in 9 months and the largest of its kind in the world. The National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, is a key stakeholder.
The Nigeria AIDS Indicator and Impact Survey is the largest HIV-specific single-country survey ever done in the world.
The survey, which received tremendous support from global partners, is significant to Nigeria's quest to battle the scourge.
Going forward, the results of this survey will guide and inform government policies, strategies, programs on HIV/AIDS, hepatitis B and C in our bid to achieve the UN's 1990 target.
Several partners in the hall are delighted by the report and what benefits it brings to the table. One of them is the United States of America, which made a substantial contribution.
NICE was an opportunity to work with the government of Nigeria to assess achievements made with our previous investments, and it also generates information that will guide us where we can best place resources to end the epidemic as efficiently as possible.
President Buhari listened keenly, then took the podium to express his joy with the progress made.
These more accurate figures indicate that fewer Nigerians are affected by HIV. However, we cannot celebrate yet, as almost 1 million Nigerians living with HIV are currently not on treatment.
The president also has a charge for the private sector.
The Nigerian private sector to establish a national HIV trust fund in the coming months to support our goal of ensuring that all Nigerians have access to high-quality HIV treatment and prevention statements.
The data for the survey were randomly collected from about 200 respondents of ages between 0 to 64. The project, led by the Ministry of Health and NACA, has come up with key findings. What is left is a careful study of same to develop strategy that will be faithfully implemented. From the Presidential Villa, Ibrahim Adra, Channels Television News.
Now let's bring you a bit more detail on our lead story. That's the presentation of certificates of return to the winners in the general elections. Our correspondent Linda Akigwe reports.
Certificates, please. Kalu Oji Uzo. And he'll be the Professor Ibano.
Victory, they say, is sweet, and these legislators-elect are basking in the euphoria of winning the senatorial and House of Representatives elections. The next step after the election to become members of the 9th Assembly is to receive certificates of return, and this is what brings these legislators-elect to the International Conference Center, Abuja.
Chairman-elect. Is that all?
INEC is issuing certificates of return to 102 senators-elect and over 300 members-elect of the House of Representatives.
the member representing Obingwa.
INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu makes an appeal to the incoming lawmakers.
But I want to appeal to the senators-elect to please start work early and conclude work on the electoral legal framework in good time, well ahead of the 2023 general elections.
The back and forth between President Buhari and the National Assembly over the amendment of the Electoral Act bill led to a situation where the president refused to sign the bill, explaining that assenting to it so close to the 2019 general election could create confusion. Channels Television spoke to some lawmakers-elect who say they will give priority to strengthening electoral laws.
I completely agree that we should have a reform of our electoral process. What INEC needs to do is to submit their requirements on time, unlike the last, this 8th assembly, when it came like a few months to the election.
Being in possession of voters' card that is not yours, open payment for votes and the rest of them, these things are there. We need to find out from the police force why, in the event of open breach of some of these laws, that no arrests were made.
Some of the lawmakers-elect also set the agenda for the 9th Assembly.
A lot of our laws have become so obsolete. If we're operating a federal system of government, let it be the one that is constitutional federalism, that gives a lot of power to the states.
Well, I would like to see the equality bill come to life. I would like to see where we mainstream the need to have women participate in legislation.
It's less than 3 months to the end of the 8th Assembly and the start of the 9th Assembly. And already, serious politicking has begun on who will emerge Senate and Deputy Senate President, as well as Speaker and Deputy Speaker. This will most likely be another fascinating contest in the coming months. Linda Kibe, Channels Television News.
The federal government has set up an interministerial presidential inauguration committee that will plan, organize and execute all programs for the swearing-in ceremony of President Muhammadu Buhari on May the 29th. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, explains the need for the committee to ensure strong collaboration with other subcommittees with a view to guaranteeing the success of the presidential swearing-in ceremony. The committee is chaired by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and other members include the Minister of Information and Culture, Minister of Interior, Minister of Defense, and the National Chairman of the APC, among others.
Distinguished members of the Presidential Inauguration Committee, in the course of the implementation of this assignment, several subcommittees to be headed by ministers will be constituted. For inclusiveness, however, other members will be drawn from not just the MDS, but also from the All Progressive Congress, our party, the Presidential Campaign Council, the support groups, as well as Women and Youth Campaign Council. The mandate of these subcommittees will be clearly spelled out to reflect the purpose for which they have been constituted. I wish to underscore the need for collaboration and synergy amongst subcommittees while planning and executing the approved programs. Finally, let me remind all members of the importance of this assignment and that no stone should be left unturned to ensure that this 2019 Presidential Inauguration Committee delivers on its mandate. We must therefore deploy our wealth of experience and show unwavering commitment to this exercise.
When the news at 10 returns, Minister of Science and Technology Ogbonnaya Onu releases report on methanol for transport and electricity generation. That's on Business News. We join us.